You're there, dragging yourself, sending messages, crawling for attention, pulling out all the stops to please. And her? Nothing, not a single chum. She ignores you like you're invisible. Now imagine if you simply disappeared for 30 days. No messages, no posts, no sign of life. Would she miss you? Or, and here comes the sucker punch, would she use that time to erase you from her memory for good? Today, we're going to stick a finger in that wound and talk about this experiment everyone thinks they've mastered. But deep down, it only reveals the obvious. You need yourself more than she ever needed you. Hold on, because this is going to hurt, but it's the kind of pain that teaches. Before we start, let's make one thing clear. This video is only here because someone had the good sense to like and subscribe before you did. So, let's pay the ticket. Hit like, subscribe, and drop a thanks in the comments. It's not for me, it's for the algorithm, because that's the only way the content will reach more people who need to hear some truths. What are you waiting for? Let's collaborate. Now, without further ado, let's get to the point. Number 1. Why the no-contact strategy knots her brain. Imagine the scene. You're always there, like an annoying notification she never turns off. Good morning. How was your day? Your new photo is stunning. You've basically become the household Wi-Fi. She doesn't even notice it, but she always expects it to be working. And you know what the problem is? Everything that's guaranteed turns into background noise. It gains zero value. Now, remove yourself from the equation. Disappear like a magician without an audience. What happens? First, her brain short-circuits. Your absence breaks the cycle of predictability that made her treat you like a nuisance with legs. Humans are programmed to notice changes, and suddenly, you're no longer there to fill those emotional gaps. Her idle mind starts to fill that void with questions. Why did he disappear? Did I do something wrong? Is he with someone else? This has a fancy name, cognitive disruption. Basically, it's what happens when something you thought was eternal disappears without warning, like your favorite show getting canceled without a finale. The difference? Now the drama is about you, and she wants to understand what the heck happened. But hold up, genius. For this to work, you have to vanish for real. No half absences. Sending a meme here, stalking there, posting mysterious stories with melancholic music. That just turns you into a predictable goof. The no contact only works if it's absolute silence, the kind that gets on her nerves. Now, here comes the interesting part. The impact of this depends on what you two had before. If she liked you but treated you as an emotional spare tire, the void might reignite her interest. If she was already ignoring you, well then the silence might just speed up your disposal. Either way, you're sowing uncertainty. And uncertainty has a power your constant presence never did. Because deep down, the no contact isn't just about her, it's about you. You know why? While she's cracking her head over the mystery of your disappearance, you stop being an emotional doormat and start remembering something important. You're not the background playlist in anyone's life. Oh, and don't be fooled. If you start sending indirect signals, even the tiniest ones, likes, subliminal messages, you know what she'll think? He's playing games. He's still within my control. And all the magic of your disappearance goes down the drain. The secret here is to be consistent in silence. Don't give in. Don't blink. Don't falter. So why does no contact mess with her head? Because it takes away the only thing that kept her from valuing you, the certainty that you were there, available. When you remove that, her mind becomes your worst enemy, and you finally stop being the useful idiot. And spoiler alert, while she's freaking out over your absence, you start transforming yourself. Want to know how? Hang tight, because the best part is yet to come. Number 2, the real benefit lies within you, not her. While she's scrambling to understand why you evaporated, it's time for you to do something revolutionary. Focus where it should have always been, on yourself. I'll spare you the soap opera. The classic mistake of those who try the 30 days without contact is thinking the story revolves around her. Spoiler, it doesn't. This process is about what you discover about yourself, not about what she feels. Now, think with me. When was the last time you prioritized your own needs? Seriously. If you've reached the point of needing to disappear to be noticed, it's because you spent too much time juggling emotional gymnastics for someone who clearly was too comfortable with your availability. It's time to change the game. The first prize of silence? Mental space. That energy you wasted monitoring her online status on WhatsApp, wondering if your message was ignored or if she's laughing at another meme with some other guy. Puff! It disappears. And you know what's left? Relief. The mental break reveals how much you were investing in something that, frankly, didn't deserve that much attention. And here comes the bonus, clarity. With this breather, you start rediscovering yourself. Maybe you remember you had a hobby, an ambition, or even a life before her. You begin to notice the damage you did to your own potential, just to be a side character in someone else's story. Can you change that? Of course you can. Start investing in yourself. Hit the gym, read that book Gathering Dust, learn something new. Because here's the truth. Those who value themselves become valuable.
Now, embrace the irony. When you stop chasing, you start becoming interesting. Not because of some emotional game, but because you finally realize you don't need anyone to feel complete. That's when silence becomes the best noise in your life.
Another fascinating detail, perspective. During this time, you start looking at the situation with fresh eyes. That obsession that seemed like the center of the universe starts to shrink. Maybe you realize you were investing in an emotional bank that never paid dividends. That, my friend, is freedom. Of course, there's the uncomfortable side. You might discover you don't miss her as much as you thought. And you know what? That's okay. This clarity saves you from getting stuck in self-sabotaging cycles. But I won't lie. The first few days will be a struggle. You'll crave sending just a hi or stalking her Instagram. It's emotional withdrawal talking. But every time you resist, you prove one thing. Control is yours. Not hers. Not the situation. Yours. And when the 30 days are up, regardless of what happens with her, you'll be in a much better position. Stronger, more confident, and here comes the best part, with higher standards for what you deserve. But here's a brutal warning. This period only works if you use it right. Spending 30 days crying on your pillow or stalking her every move will only leave you worse off. So focus on growing, not on waiting. While she loses sleep wondering what happened, you'll be building a version of yourself that not only she but the entire world will have to respect. This, my dear, is the magic of no contact. Because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter if she misses you. What matters is that you rediscover yourself and never settle for less than you deserve again. Now, let's be real. This process won't always work the way you want it to. Sometimes silence won't have any impact. And you know what you do? Prepare for the next step. That's what we're going to talk about next. Before continuing, hold up, you emotional roadside puppet. It's time to get off this humiliation carousel where you're just her ego snack. The one who accepts any crumbs with a thanks goddess smile as if you've won the lottery. Enough. Today is the day you tear off the certified doormat badge and decide to stop being treated like a worn-out rubber slipper. And you know what's going to help you in this mission? A digital book, available in the description below. But wait, it's not another one of those motivational drivel full of ready-made phrases. This book gets straight to the point. It teaches you to flip the script, move out of the innocent nice guy vibe, and finally become a challenge. No more bowing your head. No more accepting less than respect. This book is the obituary of the guy who was whining in the corners and the birth certificate of the dude who, if she doesn't respect you, simply doesn't care. No pity, no Mexican telenovela, no drama whatsoever. Control is now yours. Number 3. When no contact doesn't work and why? It's time to step off the illusion high horse and face reality. The no-contact strategy isn't a magic potion that fixes everything. In some cases, it simply doesn't work, and understanding this can save you a lot of time and dignity. Let's dissect the reasons why silence might spectacularly fail. She was already emotionally disconnected. You know that spark you swore was still there? Yeah, sometimes it's been ashes for a while, and you didn't even notice. If she had already detached from you before you disappeared, the no contact won't resurrect that interest. At most, she notices you vanished and thinks, finally. It hurts, I know, but it's a clear sign you were holding the reins of something that was already dead. There's someone else in the picture. The ugly, naked truth. If she's already emotionally or romantically involved with someone else, your absence won't change anything. It'll just make more room for the new love to flourish. And what happens to you? Nothing besides a captive spot in emotional limbo. Disappearing thinking she'll ditch the other person for you is pointless. This is real life, not a bad soap opera script. You sabotage the process. Saying you're going to disappear and then continue lurking like a broken Wi-Fi ghost is the perfect recipe for failure. Liking a photo, posting dramatic indirects, asking about her to friends, all of that signals you're more present than ever, but in a pathetic way. The no contact demands absolute silence. If you can't even do that, congratulations. You're not disappearing. You're begging with an invisible megaphone. Unrealistic expectations. Ah, the classic. You think you'll disappear for 30 days and come back with an epic reunion, worthy of a romantic comedy. Spoiler, sometimes 30 days isn't enough. Sometimes 300 days aren't either. And you know why? Because the problem isn't the time, it's the depth of the connection, or the lack thereof. If the relationship was already shallow, silence will only highlight how much you were drowning alone in a kiddie pool. Broken relationships can't be fixed with silence. Here comes the final blow. The no contact doesn't cure serious issues. Lack of respect, massive incompatibilities, cheating. Do you really think 30 days of absence will erase all that? No, my friend. You're not dealing with a broken car that needs a new paint job. You're dealing with emotional junk. Accept that there's no salvation and move on. So, what to do when no contact goes south? Simple. Accept it. It's not easy, but it's necessary. Admitting that silence didn't have the expected effect is an act of courage, and, in reality, a victory. Because it frees you from a situation that was just draining your energy. Instead of wasting more time waiting for a signal from her, use that failure as a lesson to focus on what truly matters. You. Remember that the purpose of silence isn't to make her crawl back, it's to give you the clarity to understand what you really deserve. Sometimes the greatest gift that no contact gives you is the certainty that you don't need to fight for someone who was never willing to fight for you. And you know what? That's already a huge victory. Now what if silence works? What do you do? Or, if it doesn't work at all, how do you move forward? Chill. We're going to dive into those possibilities and prepare you for the next step. Number 4, the 2 possible scenarios and what to do in each. When you enter the no contact period, there are only 2 options. That's right, only 2. And the secret to success isn't in what she does, but in how you react to each of these possibilities. Let's dissect the scenarios and ensure you come out on top, no matter the outcome. Scenario 1. She misses you and tries to reconnect. This is the romantic movie ending many dream of. Silence makes her realize, and suddenly there comes the message, "Hey, you disappeared." Or even a, "Is everything okay? It's been a while since I've seen you." The approach may vary, but the point is she noticed your absence and decided to act. Now, before you start dancing around the room thinking you won the game, curb that excitement. The fact that she's reaching out doesn't automatically mean everything has changed. It could be genuine nostalgia, curiosity, or in many cases, just an attempt to check if you're still in her hands. What to do? Respond calmly and maturely. No sprinting to your phone like a lovesick teenager. Show that your life has moved forward, because it should have anyway. Set boundaries. Don't jump back into contact as if nothing happened. Use the moment to clarify what you expect from a balanced relationship. Analyze her intentions. If she's genuinely interested in resolving things, great. But if it seems like she just wants to boost her ego, keep your distance. Now, if she's just testing you, the pattern will be obvious. After the initial contact, she pulls away or acts ambiguous. If that happens, stop fooling yourself. She doesn't want anything serious. She just wants to ensure you're still her backup plan. Scenario 2. She does nothing and moves on. The truth nobody wants to hear but needs to face. Sometimes she simply won't miss you. The silence continues. Days pass, and nothing. You wait, and she. Nothing. And you know what that means. You got a definitive answer. She didn't reach out because, to her, you weren't a priority. Does it sound cruel? It might, but it's also liberating. Better to know now than to keep investing emotional energy into something without a future. What to do? Accept the outcome without resistance. There's nothing more pathetic than breaking the silence because she didn't. Accept that the game is over. Focus on learning. Her silence is an opportunity to reaffirm what you discovered about yourself during this period. Use it to grow even more. Appreciate the clarity. You know that time you saved by stopping the insistence? It's all yours now, to invest in something or someone who's truly worth it. The common truth in both scenarios, regardless of what happens, there's something you need to understand. The greatest benefit of no contact isn't in what she does or doesn't do. It's in what happens to you. If she comes back, great, but only accept it if the conditions have changed. Respect, reciprocity, and balance are non-negotiable. If she doesn't come back, even better. You're free from an emotionally draining cycle and can seek something much more meaningful. The point here is that no contact isn't a cheap trick to manipulate feelings. It's a powerful tool to reveal the truth, whether about her or about yourself. Now that you know the two possible outcomes, it's time to reflect on what you really want for yourself. Silence gave you clarity, gave you strength, and now it's your chance to build something new, either with her or without her. The important thing is to move forward, but always with you in control. We've reached the end. It's time to swallow the raw, unfiltered truth. No contact was never about her. It's about you, and about what you discover by stepping out of that desperate dance for attention. If she misses your absence, cool. Maybe that leads to something productive, an honest conversation, a balanced relationship where both of you come out of autopilot and truly invest. But that will only work if you used that time to grow, value yourself, and, most importantly, stop accepting emotional crumbs as if they were a feast. If she doesn't miss your absence, congratulations. You've won the grand prize, liberation. Yes, it hurts, but it's a good kind of pain, because it means you just saved years of chasing a hologram. Knowing you were wasting energy on an emotional void is freeing. It's like tossing out a bad investment before it drives you bankrupt. Silence is brutally honest. It exposes truths about her, about you, and about what really existed between you, or what you just imagined existed. But it only has value if you're ready to accept those truths, no matter how ugly they are. So, the question you should be asking yourself now isn't, will she miss me? But rather, will I have the courage to face what silence revealed to me? And there, the next move is all yours. Are you going to keep chasing ghosts or finally decide you deserve more? Now, I want to hear from you. Have you ever tried disappearing from someone's life? How did it turn out? Leave it in the comments. And of course, hit like and subscribe to the channel, because here we don't sugarcoat the truths, but always deliver what you need to hear. More emotional survival videos are on the way. Stay tuned, and until next time,